If it is Monday night, oh yes, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over. Anthony Floyo sitting in tonight for the Hardcore Fight. I'm Derek Ferreira, as he is just now probably leaving the Barclays Center after one of the wildest and craziest Monday Night Raws we have ever seen. Surprises among surprises, surprises galore. That was the theme tonight. Needless to say, this was, in all honesty, in all the years that I've been watching Monday Night Raw, maybe the most newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw I have ever seen. Always trust the dirt sheets, my friends. I know we always say, read into it what you will, or take it with a grain of salt. Tonight, what we got here, just absolutely blowing our minds here tonight. So, oh my goodness, what a show. I mean, it's a damn shame that Michael Fletcher couldn't be with us, our Cerebral Viper. I got a text from him a little while ago stating that he's a little under the weather, so he will not be joining us tonight. So we wish Fletch a very speedy recovery. Feel better soon, Fletch. Hopefully we'll have you back on Friday night for our big season finale of Strictly Sports, which I'll get into at the end of our show here tonight. So with that said, the Yes Movement running the show tonight, as I am joined by my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, our resident phenom, the one and only Mr. Michael Bullock. We got a big night here tonight, so let's dive right in. Monday Night Raw tonight, live for the third consecutive night, the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, fresh off an outstanding, and I do mean outstanding, NXT TakeOver on Saturday night, and of course the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam, last night. The final night of the trifecta, Monday Night Raw, and let's get into it. We started it off with an in-ring segment. It was the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, along with his advocate, Paul Heyman. They cut a promo, and, well, I can't say this was the segment of the night. I will say it was one of the segments of the night because, all of these in-ring segments that were on tonight. Let me just say, there were several in-ring segments on this show tonight, and I can honestly say each one of them were all really good. I can't honestly say which one really stood out to me, but I will say this. I mean, Heyman, what else is there to say? I mean, the best promo guy in the business, he comes through one more time. He did it, and Brock Lesnar, doing just standing there, and then and then Heyman says, you know what? We're not going to wait till WrestleMania. We're not going to wait until the Royal Rumble. We're not even going to wait till Survivor Series. Brock Lesnar is calling out The Undertaker. Get his ass out here. Let's do it again one more time. Yeah, somebody does come out. Unfortunately, it is not The Undertaker. And I do say unfortunate because it is one of the biggest dud enhancement talents, if not the biggest dud enhancement talent in the game today. Mr. Bo Leave himself, Bo Dallas, the inspirational Bo Dallas. And then just doing his usual shtick, Brock Lesnar just saying, I'm not putting up with this nonsense. Takes him on a ride to Suplex City, and then for good measure an F5. So Lesnar basically takes out Bo Dallas. So you already know what's going to happen. There will be a rubber match. We will get another Undertaker-Brock Lesnar matchup. The big question is when? Survivor Series? Maybe. Very possible, considering that this is the 25th anniversary of when The Undertaker made his debut at the Survivor Series. I highly doubt they would do a match this big for the Royal Rumble. Because let's face it, we all know the Royal Rumble, we all know what the main selling point of that show is. The Royal Rumble match itself. So that doesn't need any more selling. The most likely scenario, like we said last night, I still think it's going to be WrestleMania 32, April 3rd, 2016, AT&T Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Well over 100,000 will be there. And career on the line, perhaps career-ending match, perhaps inside Hell in a Cell. I don't know. We'll see. That's what Fletcher thought last night when we did our recap. So that's all there is to it. So it's one of the segments of the night. Like I said, all these in-ring segments tonight were really good. I can honestly make a case that I could just praise all of them, and I'm going to do just that. I honestly cannot put one over the other because everything was great about all of these in-ring segments tonight, especially the one at the very end of our show tonight that I know Michael Bullock is still marking out over. And let's just say it like this: the theme of this show tonight is mark out moments. Simple as that. So with that said, a very good segment here. Heyman delivers, knocks it out of the park one more time. Another damn good promo from him. And then a nice showcase for Lesnar, just absolutely beating the piss out of Bo Dallas, which was a welcome sight for all of us here in the IWC who basically cannot stand Bo Dallas. These two guys especially. So that's it. So with that said, Mr. Michael Bullock, Phenom, I give it to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio, and the president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. This is the Phenom and the vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. Yes, this is one of the segments of the night here. Basically, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman coming out and voicing their unhappiness and displeasure with the way things went at SummerSlam, where The Undertaker basically beat Brock Lesnar in controversial fashion when, I'm pretty sure everyone would agree that Brock Lesnar should have won this match, but an error by the referee and the timekeeper basically led to, of course, The Undertaker winning the match and basically saying, Paul Heyman basically saying, you know what, we're not going to wait until WrestleMania. We're not going to wait until Royal Rumble. We're not going to wait until Survivor Series or any other night. We're going to do it right now. And you would think maybe The Undertaker is going to come out, but instead we get Bo Dallas. I mean, really one of the biggest stunt enhancement talents in the WWE today. Well, let's just say everybody Bo Dallas was doing his usual shtick. What else is there to say? And then the IWC, well, they got a great joy afterwards because Bo Dallas got a trip to Suplex City, bitch. And that's what he got. And then, just for good measure, a nice F5 to top it off. Yeah, couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So what's going to happen now? Could we get a rubber match? I know we're definitely going to get a rubber match. We know for sure between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. The only question is when. Could it happen at WrestleMania? Could it even happen at Survivor Series, since it is going to be the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker's debut in the WWE? Those are something to think about. But I can tell you this for sure. You know The Undertaker is going to be there at Survivor Series no matter what. But the only question is, how? Could it be in a rubber match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar? Could it be in a traditional Survivor Series elimination match? But either way, when it comes to Lesnar and Taker, it's either going to happen at Survivor Series or WrestleMania. Those are the two options. So we'll have to wait and see. So this was definitely one of the segments of the night. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to what is our first match of the night, which I will talk about.
Yes, you will. And hey, let me just make sure I have it. I have my notes correct here. Bear with me. I got a little slow on my end right here. So, I believe it was tag team action. I do believe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. It was the new WWE Tag Team Champions, my guys, the New Day Rocks, going up against Lucha Lucha, the Lucha Dragons. And I already know the New Day won the match. We already know New Day won the match. I'm just trying to get the time of the fall here. Like I said, it's very slow on my end right now, so please bear with me as I try to get this up for you guys. I know it was a little on the shorter side of things, even though there was a commercial break. Usually when there's a commercial break, normally, that usually it's usually a good sign, usually. So, okay, it's coming up. It's coming up. Coming up here in just a moment here. But
well, it's a two-man show, so we can take our time.
Yes, we certainly can. We certainly can. Of course, Derek Ferreira, of course, not with us tonight. He's probably just now, like I said, just now leaving the Barclays Center after this show tonight. And of course, Michael Fletcher was going to be with us tonight, but unfortunately came down with an illness. Just unfortunate that we couldn't have Michael Fletcher with us tonight. I mean, I was really hoping to have him on because,
boy, it's a damn shame he couldn't join us.
I know, because of
everything that
because of what happened. Oh yeah, but I did. We actually did have a moment tonight. We actually did our little Raw thing. It's been forever and a day since we've done that. Because he's been so busy with his work, and rightly so. But nonetheless, a solid tag team matchup here. I mean, but like I said, I mean, just all right. Just okay. Here we go.
We got it.
Just about, yeah. All right. Yep. Okay. Winners of the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds. It was the New Day. But that wasn't all, folks. Oh, no. It was not all, because this is the first of many, and I will say, the first of many mark-out moments here tonight. This was probably, well, I would say this was the second biggest mark-out moment of the night. They're back. And what do I mean by that? Only the most decorated tag team in the history of professional wrestling, Bubba Ray and Devon, and Michael Fletcher, this one's for you. Those damn Dudleys! Yes, those damn Dudleys are back.
Oh, my brother!
Testify! Yes, Bubba and Devon are back, and they took out the New Day. They did the what's up and everything else, and you can't have a Dudley Boy return without the infamous Devon, get the table. And he got the table. He got the table. And who got the table? Xavier Woods got the table, courtesy of a 3D Dudley Death Drop. So this is the 2-for-1 here. Michael Bullock, first off, your thoughts on the match with the New Day and the Luchas, and mark out for the return of the most decorated tag team of all time, the Dudleys. Your thoughts on that?
All right. I thought the match was fine for what it was. Just a little too short for my just too short for my liking. I'll give this probably maybe 1.5 stars for the effort there. And yes, of course, the only thing I didn't like was basically Xavier Woods playing that trombone during the whole match, which I'm pretty sure annoyed some people. But yes, I mean, the action was good, but unfortunately we did have a little bit of interference by Xavier Woods, and then both basically Kofi hits the finisher, gets the 1, 2, 3, and New Day's basically celebrating. But then we get the explosions, and yes, the return of those damn Dudleys, the Dudley boys. They march onto the ring, and they start attacking the New Day. They basically send Xavier Woods out, and then Kofi Kingston out. Bubba Ray basically starts punching away at Big E, and then a body slam to Xavier Woods, and then we get that famous move that we both like, and Florio, I know you already did it, but please say it with me. What's up? Yes.
What's up, indeed?
Yes. Damn, I love that move. And then we get our famous moment what Bubba Ray always did. Devon, get the tables. And I was basically having goosebumps the entire time. They get the table, and then it's 3D time right through the table. And the primetime players were basically out on commentary, and they were basically like, holy crap. But man, oh man, oh man. What a moment there. This was definitely a mark out moment, one of many. Match was 1.5 stars, but this was whole of a hell lot better. And all I can say is welcome back, Dudley boys, and we're gonna see them this Thursday night on SmackDown. And I'm gonna be interested to hear what they have to say, but to basically wrap it off, welcome back, Dudley boys, and all I can say about it is, oh my brother, Mustafa! Florio, it is yours.
Well, I'll get to see them before Thursday night. Don't forget, I'll be there. I'm going to be there tomorrow night.
Oh, you're going to be. Oh, lucky you, Florio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that goes down tomorrow night at the Dunkin' Donuts Center as part of the Thursday night SmackDown taping. Really looking forward to that. But I'll tell you what. As far as the match is concerned, I do agree with you, Bullock. 1.5 to 2 stars is my rating for the match. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. I mean, it was a solid match. Honestly, I was honestly thinking that the Luchas were probably going to be the next in line to challenge the New Day for the tag team titles. But after this moment tonight, this mark-out moment, this first of 2 humongous mark-out moments with the return of the Dudley Boys, Team 3D, I think it's clear as day where this is heading. You heard it first. Night of Champions, New Day versus the Dudley Boys for the Tag Team Championship. You heard that here first.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely going to go down.
And it's definitely got, and I'll tell you what, this could not have come at a better time. I mean, the tag team division right now is somewhat fledgling right now. That's not a good thing. They needed that strong babyface tag team to come back and to serve as that major threat to the New Day. So I'll sum it up like this: mark out moment, a great surprise. I love the commentary. The commentary, Michael Cole, JBL, Byron Saxton, all losing their minds, especially Cole and JBL. Just absolutely amazing. I love how the announcers put over the Dudleys huge. The fans, IWC or not, absolutely loved it. There are some who I know wanted to see, Bubba Ray get a singles push in the WWE, considering that he got a major singles push in TNA, to the tune of not one but two reigns as TNA World Heavyweight Champion. But I think that those fans who are hoping for that Bubba push in the WWE, they're not going to complain about the Dudleys returning as a tag team match in a division that desperately needed a strong babyface duo. Honestly, like I said, I thought that the Luchas were probably going to be the next in line. But instead, WWE brings back the Dudleys, and they now have fresh matches. They got fresh matches here, Bullet. Not just with the New Day, but remember, I think we could see them against the primetime players down the road, or even perhaps the Wyatt family. How fun would that be if they do that? But nonetheless, though, absolutely fantastic. And this is not the first time we've gone on the record and said this, but match was fine for what it was, but the post-match was just that much better. Welcome back, Dudley boys. Oh, my brother, testify indeed. And
oh, my brother, testify. I can't help him in saying that.
I certainly can't help it either. But whoa, man. And to sum it all up before we move on to our next match, Bullock, you're hearing this for the first time. Fletch and I, we were together at that moment. Needless to say, when we saw the Dudleys, we did our usual shtick. We did our Corey and Sean from Boy Meets World, and then Fletcher lets out the big old what? And he did just that. He let out the what? And then he lost his mind. And then he channeled his inner JR. He did his inner Jim Ross. Those damn Dudleys. Oh man, it was epic. Just absolutely epic. And man, I wish he could have been there. It's a shame he had to get sick, but it is what it is. So man, oh man alive. This is one we're gonna remember for a while, folks. You like mark out moments? You like Shakespearean drama? We got a little bit of both in this segment right here. So I don't know how we can follow that, but we're going to have to. SummerSlam rematch is next. Tag team matchup, a return match from SummerSlam. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Winners of the match via disqualification in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. It was Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Well, guess what, folks? The surprises keep on coming. We have a new member of the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman. That's right. If you don't know who Braun Strowman is, Braun Strowman from NXT. Yeah. Well, actually, he played the Jolly Gladiator in Adam Rose's Exotic Express. 31-year-old former strongman competitor who has been with WWE since May of 2013. And wow, his real name is Adam Scherr, but his ring name is Braun Strowman, as Bray Wyatt alluded to in that backstage vignette towards the end of the show tonight. But as far as the match goes, it was right around the same lines as last night. I probably would say the third best fight of the night on my end. I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. I mean, but there was some very good action. I thought it was kind of a little better than the SummerSlam match, just a little bit. Although, like I said, it was right around the same par as the SummerSlam match. But like I said, surprises keep on coming. Another surprise. First, you got the return of the Dudley Boys was something. How about the debut of Braun Strowman? Man's a freak. He is a freak of nature. And what he did, he absolutely laid out both Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I'm really hoping that when I go tomorrow night, I'm hoping that there's more to this than meets the eye. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get to see more of this when I go tomorrow. But man, oh man alive. I mean, just absolutely unbelievable. This freak of nature, Braun Strowman. I mean, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the WWE for years to come. You're hearing that here first, my friends. I mean, before I throw it up to Michael Bullock, I just want to, I just want to try to get the, get his, get the numbers here. Okay. Well, he is a strong man. He finished 10th in the 2013 Arnold Strongman Classic. Finished 7th in the 2012 Poland Giants Live. 5th in the 2012 SCL North American Championships. Won the Arnold Amateur Strongman World Championships in 2012. And also won the NAS U.S. Amateur, U.S. Amateur National titles. He won that. He also won Monster of the Midland in 2010, finished 3rd in the Europa Battle of Champions, and he also finished 1st in the Central Georgia Strongest Man in 2011, Summerfest Strongman in 2011, and the West Cary Fall Festival of Power in 2011. He signed with WWE on May 12th of 2013, assigned, of course, to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, went by the name of Braun Strowman, made his debut at an NXT live event on December the 19th of 2014, where he went over Chad Gable. And then he appeared at a main event taping in a dark match back on June 2nd of this year, where he went over an unknown local athlete. And then, of course, tonight, joining the Wyatt family. And he's from Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. And I have the numbers here. Michael Bullock, listen to these numbers. Braun Strowman is 6'8" and weighs 385 pounds. Wow. If that doesn't tell you, if that doesn't say, hey, if that doesn't tell you, if that doesn't say, you know, if that doesn't scream out freak of nature to you guys, I don't know what the hell does. So it was a 3-star match. It's the third best fight of the night on my end. But like I said, Braun Strowman, man, 6'8", 385 pounds. He is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And you thought the Wyatt family was dangerous back in the days of Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. Well, with Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman, I think this incarnation of the Wyatt family is going to be even better than the first one. Watch out, my friends. Braun Strowman is a bad, bad, bad man. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this SummerSlam rematch and your thoughts on the debut of Braun Strowman?
All right, I do agree. This was a 3-star match, and this was the third best fight of the night. And I do think it was a little bit better than the match that we saw at SummerSlam last night. But yeah, the action was really good here, and yeah, just when it looked like Roman Reigns was going to go for he was basically going on for the Superman punch, but then the lights go out, and when they come back on, there was a bearded man with a black sheep mask. It was Braun Strowman, and boy, he looks really strong. And yeah, and he basically took out both Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. So yes, yeah, you definitely thought the Wyatt family was dangerous when you had Wyatt, Harper, and Rowan. Well, now you got Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman. Man, they are definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. So 3 stars is my rating. So with that being said, Wario, let's move on to what is going to be our next segment, which I will lead off on.
Yes, you will indeed. And, well, we go from the beasts to the beauty. Yes, it was Miz TV. Well, this is basically a 2-for-1 here because it started out as a Miz TV segment. Miz's guests, all 3 members of Team PCB, Paige, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, interrupted by Team Bella, the Bella Twins and Alicia Fox. And then from there, it led into a 6-diva tag team matchup, Team PCB against Team Bella. And the winners of the fall, the bad news, well, it's double bad news. First bit of bad news, I don't have a time of the fall. But if that's not bad, I mean, that's the least of our worries. The worst part about it is the winners of the match was Team Bella. Team Bella gets the win. So we're going to do the 2-for-1 bit here. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the Miz TV segment and your thoughts on this 6-diva tag team match.
All right, I thought this was another good segment here. This was definitely another one of the segments of the night, and because yeah, I mean, definitely the Miz always playing that cocky heel that he is, and yeah, and basically first he introduces them, and basically Miz basically starts off with Becky Lynch, and she says it's not right. It's not about who pinned who. That they won because they're not 3 separate divas. They are a cohesive unit. And Charlotte then takes the mic and basically is like that my father, Ric Flair, taught us that back when he was part of the greatest faction in WWE history. And then Miz basically is like, hey, Flair and I are old pals. He taught me the figure 4 and perfected. And then Charlotte basically says, you know what? You really lived up to Flair's legacy. And Miz is like, not only did I live up to it, I surpassed it. And he says, you know what? It's about the divas that. And he says that, you know what? It's about three beautiful women that get along. And then basically Paige is like, you know what? We're not into you, Miz. And basically, and then she gets so fired up, and Becky Lynch has to calm down, and then the Bellas interrupt. Basically say, huh? Dominant? And she basically like, that's like saying Donald Trump's favorite holiday is Cinco de Mayo. And then Bree says that the three girls are, yes, the three girls, you're very talented, but Team Bella is more than just about talent. They empower women all over the world. We are the faces of dominance, empowerment. And then we get a "We want Sasha" chant from the fans there. And Bree's like cocky and saying, "You're welcome." And then Becky Lynch is like, "You know what? Who got dominated last night? Oh yeah, you guys did." He says, "You know what? We're not talking about last night. We're talking about in the past few years." And then Alicia's like, basically, you know what? Becky Lynch, are you the wild one and crazy member? And then Nikki once again continues to brag about how she will become the longest reigning WWE Divas champ in history. And they all bicker basically until Miz basically is like, "Shut up!" And Miz basically calls out and says if they want to revolutionize, they should emulate me, the Miz, because right now I ain't impressed. And then PCB goes for the attack, then the Bellas stop, and then all three of them start beating each other up, and then that's when we get the match. As far as the match goes, I don't know how to rank it since we don't have a time here, but you know what? I'm gonna give it maybe. I'm gonna guess this according to my ratings. I'm gonna give it maybe. I'm gonna say 2.5 to 3 stars. I think that's how I would rank it. But yeah, I thought the match was good for what it was. So yeah, so Team Bella gets the win here, and this is only like their third win since this whole Diva Revolution. So yeah, so 2.5 to 3 stars. And if I got it wrong, especially you, Florio, if I got it wrong, I do apologize. I mean, not having the time of the fall really makes it confusing. So Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, the Miz TV segment I thought was really good with the PCB there, and I'll tell you what, I mean, that little smarky comment about Miz saying he surpassed Ric Flair's legacy. Yeah, right. You didn't do that.
Yeah, Ric Flair's done way more than what the Miz has done.
Ric Flair has done more in over 40 years than you've done in what, 10? Yeah. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm not knocking Miz. I mean, he has done a lot of things. I will give him that. I mean, he is a former tag team champion. He is a former United States heavyweight champion, Intercontinental heavyweight champion, a former WWE champion, a Money in the Bank ladder match winner. I mean, I'll give him all that. He's done it all. He's done all that. That's great. But saying that you surpassed the legacy of Ric Flair, yeah, I got to call your ass out on that one because me being the Ric Flair mark that I am.
Woo!
Yes. Me being the Ric Flair mark that I am. That offended me. That offended me.
And you know what we got to say here? Take Goldberg.
Take Goldberg, indeed. And he was also an idiot. No doubt about that. You don't ever say you surpassed the legacy of Ric Flair.
Yeah, Miz, you idiot.
Surpassed the legacy of Ric Flair? Child, please. That's all there is to say about that. That would be like Mr. Bullock or I saying we surpassed the legacy of Ric Flair. We're never going to surpass the legacy of Ric Flair or even come close to it. No doubt about it.
Oh, and one more thing. I gotta use a little something here, Miz. If you're not down with Ric Flair being more popular than you, then I got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Amen. So that's all there is to say on that. But as far as the segment is concerned, I mean, the ladies came off good here. I mean, I love the snappy banter, and then Team Bella coming out there doing their thing, and nice little back and forth, and then the brawl breaks out, and then it leads into the match. And Michael Bullock, you said that if you got it wrong, then I would have every right to correct you on that. Well, yeah. I think you underscored it just a little bit, if I'm being quite honest with you. I gotta say, it was the second best fight of the night from my end.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not like that little that brief little blow up we had last night when you said when you were about to say Bayley and Sasha Banks was the second best fight of NXT Takeover.
Oh, please don't bring that up. I'm trying to forget that.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm just trying to remind our viewers out there who may have missed our recap show last night. There was a brief little moment where I literally, jumped all over Michael Bullock there, but it was a brief moment. That's all there is to it. It wasn't full blown or anything like that. So, but you didn't. But you only underscored it just a little bit. You didn't underscore it that much. I thought this was a 3.25 to 3.5 star match. I thought this was a really good Diva match. The Diva Revolution continuing to shine. I mean, I know there are some people who are starting to say it's losing momentum right now. One of them, including Derek Ferrera, who posted a brief little raw review on his Facebook just a little bit ago. And he also posted a big announcement, which I'm going to share at the end of our show tonight. And it's one that that Mr. Bullock and I have pretty much expected. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But I thought it was a really good match. I mean, I know the crowd didn't like it. I mean, I know those rabid IWC fans. I know they they pissed all over the fight. I can understand that, but I was into it. I mean, I thought there was some really good action throughout the match and some good near falls. And as much as I hated seeing Team Bella get the win, it was necessary. I mean, Team Bella really needed the win here. I mean, this loss is not going to hurt PCB at all. PCB is still the dominant faction when it comes to this Diva Revolution with the 9 to 10 wins that they have under their belt. None bigger than the win at SummerSlam last night. But this was far and away the biggest win for Team Bella. I mean, Team Bella really needed this win, and there you go. So it was. So that's pretty much it. So with that said, yeah. So yeah, I'm just reading a Facebook comment here. All right, 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Second best fight of the night. I thought there was one match that was a little bit better than this one, if I'm being honest. Ladies really worked hard. The action was fine, but it's just a damn shame. I mean, I hate that the IWC had to piss all over this fight. I mean, they treated it like it was a typical ho-hum diva fight. Last time I checked, when I saw that match, that was anything but a typical ho-hum diva fight.
Yeah. Yeah, so I gotta call out that crowd for that.
They chanted. They did everything. They chanted, "We are awesome," which I can understand. They also chanted for JBL and everything else. And they even did the wave, for God's sakes. They did the wave during this fight. Oy.
And it wasn't a bad fight. And they're treating it like it was a typical ho-hum diva fight, and it wasn't. So to the crowd over there in the Barclays Center tonight, you people are a bunch of idiots to crap all over this match, which wasn't even bad at all.
Not to mention Dinkelbergs as well.
Yeah, so. And I know I'm probably going to get criticized for that comment by the IWC, but you know what? I don't give a damn.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Same here. I mean, don't get me wrong. The crowd was fantastic tonight. I mean, that was.
And in the immoral word, Michael Wilbon, get out.
Yeah, it was, the crowd was great tonight. The crowd was really good. I mean, it was a Bizarro World crowd. That's what it was. It was like the night after. It was like the Raw, the night after Mania, for God's sakes. So, but that was the only thing that they did that I had to really call them out on. But other than that, though, really good match and really good match. So that's what there is. So okay, interesting little moment here. We thought that we were going to have a tag team match with Stardust and King Barrett, but not so fast. What happens here? Stardust attacked King Barrett, and then Adrian Neville shows up, and then Adrian Neville basically gets the best of Goldust. So, Mr. Bullock, I think we can both agree that this was really an NA type of thing.
Yeah, this was definitely an NA.
Yeah, I don't really want to waste any time on this, but
yeah. So let's just move on.
But one thing though, with Stardust attacking Barrett, could that lead to a possible face turn for Barrett? Maybe Barrett comes back as Wade Barrett and drops the King Barrett gimmick. I don't know. We're gonna have to look into that. But anywho, we're just gonna move on. We're not gonna go into great detail about that. So with that said, okay, here we go. Here comes the segment. This was definitely a very highly anticipated segment here. Jon Stewart, who of course rubbed a lot of people the wrong way last night, including us. He comes out, cut the promo, basically explaining his actions for what he did at SummerSlam, screwing John Cena and costing him the United States Heavyweight Championship, allowing Seth Rollins to win that title and retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And he basically said that I did not want to see John Cena tie Ric Flair's record. You can certainly understand that. I mean, old school wrestling fan, a Ric Flair mark like myself. I mean, I would have been okay if Cena had won it. I mean, hell, I even went on the record and said that Cena was going to win that match on when we did our big preview show the other night. But, well, apparently the Rollins train is still chugging along. And but anywho, Stewart basically, like I said, he explained his actions, but here comes yet another surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! The Nature Boy Ric Flair, my man, the Hall of Famer, twice over, by the way, twice over Hall of Famer, my man and yours, one of my many idols growing up, the man that I portray when it comes to our little version of the Four Horsemen there. And quite frankly, nobody can do the Ric Flair better than I can. But the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun was in the house in Brooklyn tonight. Another major surprise, another mark out moment. Always fun to see the Nature Boy in the house. But then those cheers would very quickly turn to boos because out comes John Cena. And, well, John Cena, I'll say it like this, Cena showing up and doing his usual shtick. He said, "Hey, Stewart, we need to talk." And Stewart was like, "Okay, what do you want to talk about?" And then he basically said, I can understand that you didn't want me to tie the record, but you cost me the United States Heavyweight Championship, a championship I was trying to make relevant again. Well, he didn't try to make it relevant. He did make it relevant again, courtesy of those unbelievable John Cena United States Open challenges, which were, let's face it, fun to watch each and every week. But man, oh man. And he said, I wanted to use that U.S. title to, give an up-and-coming talent back there who deserves it a chance to be in a main event match with the best that there is. And so he was like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't think it through. I just didn't want you to tie Ric Flair's record. And he said, I did what I had to do. And then Cena's like, okay, you did what you had to do? Well, guess what? I'm going to do what I have to do. AA to Jon Stewart. So another one of the segments of the night. I honestly would have to put this in my top two. I think I finally figured out how I'm going to rank these segments. I'm going to say that The Miz TV segment was the fourth best segment of the night. I probably would say, well, you got that segment, but then you had those other three segments that are going to be really tough. I mean, this segment, the opening segment with Lesnar and Heyman, and then, of course, the big segment at the end of the show, which, like I said, Mr. Bullock and I are still marking over right now. So I cannot wait to get into that. But for right now, this was another one of the segments of the night. Like I said, came off really good. And Cena doing his thing again. Of course, Ric Flair, that was an extra, that was a special bonus. And Jon Stewart, I mean, he even came off pretty decent here. So all around great segments. So another one of the segments of the night. So well done. So with that said, Mr. Bullock, your thoughts on this segment with Jon Stewart, Ric Flair, and John Cena?
Yeah, I thought this was the second best segment of the night. I mean, Jon Stewart basically coming out and saying basically for saying what up to Brooke, and the crowd was basically saying thank you, Stewart. Well, of course, for what he did last night, and then of course, basically he said, you know what? I wasn't trying to help Seth Rollins retain the title. It wasn't what was best for business. It was because in my heart, I could not let John Cena tie Ric Flair's record, which is, of course, 16 world titles. In my mind, the champ will always be Ric Flair. So, and then Ric Flair comes out and basically gives Jon Stewart a hug. He said, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate what you were thinking last night, but to be quite honest, I was pulling for John Cena. And Stewart is basically like, huh? And Ric Flair's saying, you know what? I want you all to hear me out. Sooner or later, the record is broken. It has to be broken. And he prefers for it to be broken by someone that he respects. He says, you know what? We don't gotta like it, but we gotta learn to love it because it's coming from the best thing today. And basically, the IWC crowd basically didn't like what Flair said and basically said, you know what? Don't forget, God's in the house tonight, which is, of course, Ric Flair. And basically says, I respect John Cena, but Jon Stewart says, I couldn't let John Cena do it. I was protecting you, Ric Flair. And Flair says that he is the greatest of all time. Well, basically that he is the greatest of all time, but now you had to mess everything up. And John was like, no, I'm saving the streak. And Flair continues to say, there's so more to this. You messed everything up. John Cena comes out and basically says, you know what? We got to talk. He says, all right, what do you want to talk about? Let me get it out. He says, what you did what you did because you thought it was a good idea. But because of what you did, Seth Rollins is is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and the United States Champion. And then the crowd was basically starting a yes chant. And he says, the same championship that I pried from the hands of Rusev and used as an opportunity so that these people get a chance to see the superstars they want to see in a main event. Names like Ambrose, Neville, Stardust, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, on and on. And that John Cena is so upset about it. And then Jon Stewart he says, you know what? I want to say something. And then he marks the you can't see me. And seems like, you know what? This is not a comedy show. And then Jon Stewart said, you know what? It was a beautiful match. And you were fighting U.S. champ. And he respects the chances he gives to you. And I respect the chances you give to everyone. But I've been a fan for so many years, and as good as you are John Cena. I couldn't see you tying the record that Ric Flair holds, and I apologize for not seeing it through. And then he says the two biggest titles are now in the hands of the Authority, and they don't care about the universe. And John Cena says, "You know what, Cena? You can win that U.S. title back." And he said, "You can get the title back by declaring a rematch." And John basically says, "Last night was my moment. Tonight it'll be your moment." And then John Cena says, "You know what? You'll understand this. You know what? You did what you had to do, and now I got to do what I got to do." And AA to Jon Stewart, and he basically then shakes the hand of Ric Flair and is gone. So, yeah, so definitely the second best segment of the night. So, that being said, Florio, let's move on. What is our next match?
Oh yeah, and I believe you're going to be starting off on that. Yes, sir. 8-man tag team match. Here we go. On one side, you had Dolph Ziggler sporting a new look. Something I can honestly say that look came out of the Marty Jannetty collection. Wearing pants now, so that should be an interesting look for him. Dolph Ziggler, of course, with the beautiful Lana, the ravishing Russian, along with the leader of the Cesaro section, Mr. Bullock, Cesaro. Of course, Feed Me More, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Ryback, and the Viper, Randy Orton, going up against the team of Rusev, accompanied by Summer Rae, Kevin Owens, The Big Show, and Mr. Money in the Bank, Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Winners of the match in 18 minutes and 10 seconds, Randy Orton, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, and Ryback via an RKO from Randy Orton onto Sheamus after a botched WMD knockout punch by The Big Show on Sheamus. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this 8-man?
What did you say the time of the match was?
I have 18 minutes and 10 seconds on my notes here.
All right. Well, definitely this was the fight of the night here, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm gonna give this about 3.5, maybe 3 3/4 of a star here. I thought this was a very good 8-man tag team match, and I thought this was good. And yes, I definitely got a kick out, of course, the Cesaro section. The action was really good here, and yes, we did get a little cat fight here with Lana and Summer Rae, and yeah, and basically, of course, Orton and Sheamus basically were in at the end of the match, and then Big Show basically tries to go for a KO punch on Randy Orton, but Randy Orton basically ducks out of the way and hits Sheamus with it, and then so basically it leads to a win here. And then after the match, basically Rusev and Owens were basically yelling at Big Show for the loss, and Show tries to calm him down, but Owens and Rusev weren't gonna hear it, and then basically just when it looked like Big Show was gonna choke slam Owens, a super kick from Rusev to Big Show, and then Owens hits that cannonball in the corner, and then Owens and Rusev basically leave, and then that's not the end of it. It only gets worse for Big Show. Basically, Big Show gets a super kick from the Big Show, and then Ryback and Cesaro basically lift the Big Show, and then one of the biggest RKOs ever. And I know Michael Fletcher must have been going very crazy over this. So really have nothing else to say except 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. I could even say teetering on 4 with the way the match was. So with that being said, Florio, it's yours.
I agree with you, Michael Bullock. Fight of the night indeed. 3.5 to 4 stars is the correct rating for this 8-man tag team bout. I mean, very good action throughout. I mean, all 8 men really worked their asses off. I mean, yeah, some good hot tags in this one, and not really, your typical 8-man tag, where we have all these, big. I'll tell you what. As I look at my notes here, yeah. They usually call this kind of match a time killer match, and it held the live crowd's interest. Nice to see a big tag match end without the predictable rapid fire finisher sequence for a change. Where we see all the guys, do their finishers within like a 2-minute span. I'm glad we didn't get to see that. And yeah, and then of course we had a botched finish there, if you will. The Big Show botching the WMD. He was intending it for Randy Orton, but instead nailing Sheamus after Orton ducked out of the way. And that was basically it. So, like I said, a very good 8-man tag team match. And 18 minutes and 10 seconds. Very good match indeed. Definitely the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars. And then the Big Show, of course, getting that beat down after the fight. Getting attacked by both Rusev and Kevin Owens, including a Kevin Owens cannonball. And then, of course, the Faces came back in. A super kick by Dolph Ziggler, and then that super RKO, that massive RKO by Randy Orton, courtesy of Ryback and Cesaro. So, yeah. Hopefully I'll get to see all these guys tomorrow night when I go to the SmackDown tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see on that. So, okay. Before I move on to our final segment of the night, I just want to make a quick note here. I'm gonna rank the Miz TV segment the 4th best segment of the night. It's not very often that a Paul Heyman talking segment is usually the 3rd best segment of the night, but in this case, I'm gonna have to put that there. And then because I thought that Cena Stewart and Flair segment came off really good, but this right here coming up right now, folks, our main event of the evening here. Oh yeah, in-ring segment, folks. We had the Authority. We had Triple H, we had Stephanie McMahon in the ring to unveil the quote-unquote statue of the first ever WWE World Heavyweight and United States Heavyweight Champion at the same time, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out, of course. He does his usual shtick. He does his, smarky heel promo that we all know and love so much. Yeah, right. But we had, on this night of surprises, why don't we end the show with perhaps the biggest surprise of them all? They go to unveil the statue, and who was under that sheet? It was not John Cena. No, it wasn't, because he was taken out by security by order of the Authority. Who was under it? The Icon, the Vigilante, the Stinger. Yes.
Yes.
Sting.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes. Yes.
Sting in the house takes out Seth Rollins. Crowd goes ballistic, and there's nothing left for me to say except this was the segment of the night, without a doubt. I mean, what a big surprise to see the Stinger. But then again, Bullock and I, along with Derek Ferrera and Michael Fletcher, we came across dirt sheets galore over the past several days, stating that there was a very likely possibility that at some point during these 3 nights in Brooklyn that we were going to get the Stinger in the house at some point. We got that some point. That some point was tonight. The Stinger was in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Stayed. And guess what? Big announcement, Tony time. I heard, according to Derek Ferrera,
it's official.
It is official, folks. We have our first official match for Night of Champions next month on September 20th at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Champion Seth Rollins to defend the title against Sting. Yes, the Stinger. For the first time ever, Sting is going to be challenging for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The same guy who made history by winning the NWA/WCW World Heavyweight Championship on several occasions. I think he won it like 8 or 9 times, as I recall. I'm going to look into that in just a moment. But, oh, my goodness. What a segment. What a way to close out this wild and crazy, I'd probably say, Monday Night Raw that's going to rank up there as one of the. I can honestly say that this Monday Night Raw tonight is in my top 5 for best Raws of the year. This definitely will go right in there. And having the Stinger and Seth Rollins, who will now be going at it for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, in the Jim Crockett Promotions, he held the NWA World Heavyweight title one time, a 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. Overall, he's an 11-time World Champion. Actually, no, he's actually a 12-time World Champion. 1-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, a 1-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion with TNA back when they had the old school NWA belt, and a 4-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So he is a 12-time World Heavyweight Champion, holding the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and WCW titles within the Jim Crockett WCW era 7 times, and a 5-time combined World Heavyweight Champion in the NWA TNA. If you don't believe me, here's a couple of photos for you to tickle your fancy here. Here's a photo of Sting with the old school NWA World Heavyweight Championship right there, courtesy of Bound for Glory. It was Bound for Glory 2006. He took that title from the great Jeff Jarrett in what was a very outstanding match with Kurt Angle as the special guest referee. Bullock, I strongly suggest you check out that match. It was a really good match. It's definitely worth your liking. I'll tell you that right now. And then on top of that, not only did he hold, that's the old NWA title that he held. There is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship that he won on 4 occasions. That shot was from the following year's Bound for Glory in 2007. He took that title off of Kurt Angle. So another match that I strongly suggest you check out, Bullets. Because that was a really good match, chock full of some great Shakespearean drama, no doubt about it. So yeah, he's no stranger to the gold, my friend. 12-time recognized world champion, from 2-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, 4-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and 6-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion. And you can relive some of those wins on the WWE Network. Of course, when he won his very first world title, when he beat the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Great American Bash in 1990 in Baltimore, Maryland. Or how about when he beat Lex Luger at Super Brawl 2 for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship? Or how about when he took that title, of course, that infamous match with Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 1997 in Washington, D.C.? Or what about that immediate rematch they had at the Super Brawl in February of '98 when Sting beat Hogan again for that very title? And then he beat Flair for some titles. He beat Vader at a house show, as I recall one time. Video is on YouTube. I've seen it. In London, England, there was a house show they did back in '93, March of '93. And I know almost all of his world title wins off the top of my head. Of course, 3 of them came against Hulk Hogan. The other one, of course, the third Hogan title, the third time he beat Hogan, was at Fall Brawl '99 when he shocked the world by, for the first time ever, turning heel. Yeah, he turned heel when he took the title off of Hulk Hogan the third time, the Fall Brawl '99, because he had help from Lex Luger. So yeah. And then I remember one time he also beat Diamond Dallas Page for a world title on a Monday Nitro episode. That I know. And I think I got all 6 of his WCW title wins. And of course, he beat Flair, obviously, the first time, the Great American Bash in '90. And then in TNA, of course, an NWA World Heavyweight Champion, like I said, beat Jeff Jarrett, Bound for Glory 2006 in Michigan. Kurt Angle was the referee. And then 4-time TNA champion, of course. So one of those against Kurt Angle, Bound for Glory, 2007. Beat Samoa Joe the following year at Bound for Glory in 2008 with help from Kevin Nash, the birth of the Main Event Mafia, by the way. And then he also took the title off of Jeff Hardy in Fayetteville, North Carolina, in I believe it was March of 2011. And then a couple months later, he won that title one more time by beating Mr. Anderson, best known as Mr. Kennedy in the WWE. So, and I do believe that was his last world title win. So, can he add the big one? Can he add the WWE World Heavyweight Championship to his Hall of Fame caliber career? What a mark-out moment that would be. Can you imagine that, Michael Bullock? If Sting takes the title off of Rollins in Houston?
Oh my gosh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he from Texas?
Oh my gosh.
He's from Texas, folks.
Could there be a possibility that they might do the unthinkable?
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what, if that happens, I'm going to mark out like a crazy man.
He was born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Because I'll tell you this right now, Florio. That's another one of my guys because I actually got to meet him.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And at the time, and if he does it, he would be, I believe, he would become the oldest man to ever win the World Heavyweight Championship. He's 56 years old, folks. 56. The previous oldest man to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, whatever you want to call it, it was Hulk Hogan. He was 48 years old when he beat Triple H at the Backlash in 2002, with a little help from Mr. Bullock's friend, The Undertaker, unintentional or not. So, man, oh man, alive. That could be a mark-out moment waiting to happen. One of the greatest legends and one of the greatest world heavyweight champions, a man who put another man who is primarily responsible for making this business what it is. Yeah, you can say it was Hulk Hogan. Yeah, you can say Ric Flair, Randy Macho Man Savage, and all these other great legends.
You gotta put Sting in that list,
especially after what he did in WCW, putting WCW on the map. I mean, especially those legendary matches he had with Ric Flair. I mean, when he won his very first world title from Ric Flair, Great American Bash, 1990, which you can relive on the WWE Network. Oh, by the way. So, yeah. Needless to say, now hear me out. I don't think this match is going to be a 5-star classic by any means, but I think that this could be a 3.5 to 4-star at best. Oh man. We honestly thought Rollins was going to probably fight Cena again at Night of Champions. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would be saying Seth Rollins will be defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the Night of Champions against the Icon Sting. Are you kidding me right now? Wow.
I mean, are we in freaking Bizarro World or is this real?
Someone flat me. Is this a dream?
I was even saying that myself when I heard the announcement. I'm like, wait a minute. Sting against Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship?
At the Night of Champions.
At Night of Champions?
In Sting's home state of Texas. He's from Dallas.
Oh my gosh.
This is in Houston.
I mean, there is a possibility that it could happen.
The biggest hometown rub you can get. Not many guys can get this. Not many guys have gotten this hometown rub. There's only one guy that I can remember ever getting a hometown rub like this. That was Kurt Angle. Twice in the same year.
And all I can say is Seth Rollins, I think you're going to be crucified by that crowd.
Oh, you kidding? Oh. What I was alluding to was the hometown rub. When you win the World Heavyweight Championship in front of your hometown. Actually, there's two guys, now that I think of it. Kurt Angle was the first. 2 times in 2001. July of 2001, there was a SmackDown taping at the Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh. He took the WCW World Heavyweight Championship off of Booker T, just as the Invasion angle was starting to get hot. And then 2 months later, in September, it was at Unforgiven when he won the World Wrestling Federation Championship from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Who's the other guy to get the big hometown rub, win a world title in front of your hometown fans? John Cena. He did it 2 times in his hometown, in his home city of Boston. Survivor Series, 2008, when he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Chris Jericho. Or what about last summer at Money in the Bank, when he won the vacated WWE World Heavyweight Championship in that ladder match, that huge ladder match they had last summer? Could Sting be the next one to get the big hometown rub? Now, this is not his hometown. His hometown is Dallas. But could he get it? Could he get the home state rub? Could he come home to his home state of Texas, in Houston, at the Toyota Center on September the 20th? Could he be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion? Could he be the guy of all guys to end the reign of Rollins? Can't get here fast enough, my man. Cannot get here fast enough. I cannot wait to see. This is the ultimate battle of old school and new school. The old school of Sting, the new school of Seth Rollins. I can't stop marking. I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot stop freaking marking out. Right now, I'm gonna give it to Michael Bullock so I can at least try to stop the marking out. But I know Michael Bullock is just as mark out crazy as I am. So I'm just going to put it to bed right here and now. This was the segment of the night. And Night of Champions, my man, September 20th, cannot get here fast enough. Bullock is yours. Man, how do you follow that? How do you follow that?
I don't even know if I can follow what you just did there. Oh my gosh. I mean, I still can't believe it myself, but yes, without question, this was the segment of the night, no doubt about it. Of course, Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, basically coming out and doing their usual stick. What else is there to be said? And then Seth Rollins comes out and does his usual cocky, snarky, arrogant heel stick, basically bragging about how he won the United States Championship at SummerSlam and what else is new. And then they were getting ready to reveal the statue of Seth Rollins. Wasn't under there? Nope. It was the icon, Sting. And as soon as that happened, I was watching it. I was like, what? Sting? Wow. And then basically goes to town on Seth Rollins. And they get out of the ring and basically Sting grabs the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and he made it perfectly clear that he wants that WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and it is now official. At Night of Champions on September 20th on the WWE Network for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins will be defending it against Sting. What? Somebody slapped me in the face. I mean, is Sting really going to challenge for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship? Man, I still can't believe it. I mean, I'm still marking out like a crazy man. But yeah, I mean, a combined 12 world championships for Sting, 6 of them in WCW, number of NWA and TNA World Heavyweight Championships, like Florio just mentioned. Could he? And now, for the first time ever, the Sting is going to challenge for the top prize in the WWE, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and with it being in Texas, where Sting is from, could there be a possibility that Sting walks out a Night of Champions, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion? I'll tell you what, if that happens, that is going to be the mark out moment of 2015, without a shadow of a doubt.
Amen.
Segment of the night. I don't know what else is there to say except, Florio, let's move on to our overall thoughts on the show. I mean, I don't know how we're going to follow that.
I don't know how we're going to follow it. I mean, wildest and craziest Raw of the year, no question about it. So, Michael Bullock, I mean, what was all yours, man? Your overall thoughts on this wild and crazy, unpredictable, but most of all, very newsworthy edition of Monday Night Raw tonight.
Well, I will say it. My rating for this show, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. This was a damn good edition of Monday Night Raw, without a shadow of a doubt. With it being a newsworthy edition, of course, all. I mean, yeah. Well, first, let me pull up the highlights. Of course, the fight of the night being the tag team. I mean, the 8-man tag team match with Cesaro, Orton, Ziggler. Yes, Cesaro, Orton. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ryback.
And Ryback. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still marking out of what happened here. I mean, I can't help myself.
No problem, man. It's all right.
But then again, I mean, who isn't marking out after what happened? And then of course, yeah, I mean, and then of course you also had Team Bella versus Team PCB was my other one of the top fights of the night. Even though the crowd was basically pissing on it, which I still don't understand why. But you know what? It is what it is. And of course, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt. That was another one of the top fights of the night, and with that shocking of addition of Braun Strowman to the Wyatt family. And I would have to say my only low light match was of course the Lucha Dragons against the New Day, but we did get a payoff, of course, with the return of the Dudley Boys. I mean, that was the first of many mark out moments. I like the segment, of course, with the Miz TV, with the Team PCB, and then of course that segment with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and of course the second best segment of the night with John Cena and Ric Flair and Jon Stewart. But of course we know the segment of the night with the Authority, Seth Rollins, thinking we were going to get the unveiling of the statue, but the appearance of Sting and the announcement of Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sting. Man, what a Monday Night Raw. 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 for me. If it weren't for that low light with that tag team match, this could have been a perfect 10, but I can say with all honesty, I cannot do that, but still, this was a damn good edition of Monday Night Raw, and I'll say it right now. Best Raw of 2015, without a shadow of a doubt. 9.5 out of 10. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely have to consider it the Raw of the year. I mean, 9 to 9.5 out of 10 is my rating on this show tonight. I mean, a very good Monday Night Raw from top to bottom. I mean, some of the matches could have been better, yes, but the in-ring segments were all really good. But of course, it was the surprises among surprises. I can honestly say this was the most newsworthy show I've seen in a long time. We've seen a lot of newsworthy shows, but this was far and away the most newsworthy show I've seen in a long time, man. Where to start? Of course, fight of the night, the 8-man tag, Randy Orton, Cesaro, Ryback, and Dolph Ziggler going up against Sheamus, Kevin Owens, The Big Show, and Rusev. That was the fight of the night. 3.5 to 4 stars there. 6 Diva tag, Team PCB, Team Bella. Second best fight of the night, 3.25 to 3.5 stars for that. And then rounding out the top 3 fights of the night, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. Solid 3 stars. And you also had that, even though it wasn't remotely bad, it was by default the worst fight of the night with the New Day and Luchas, 1.5 to 2. The only real low light for me was that, that waste of time segment there, where Stardust, where he, I don't know why, but attacked King Barrett and then Neville came out. I mean, that was, one of those, one of those head scratcher segments. That's another reason. That's another thing that kept the show from being a perfect 10 tonight. All of the in-ring segments were really good. The Miz TV segment was the 4th best segment of the night. Not often I say a Paul Heyman talking segment would be the 3rd best segment, but anytime that you have a buzzkill, a legitimate buzzkill in Mr. Bo Dallas, yeah, that's definitely going to take the segment down significantly. 2nd best segment of the night, the segment with Jon Stewart, Ric Flair, and John Cena. Very good segment there, but of course the segment of the night far and away, where Triple H and Stephanie were going to unveil the statue of Seth Rollins, only to be surprised by the Stinger. And it is now official, folks. Sting, Seth Rollins, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at the Night of Champions, Houston, Texas, Toyota Center, September 20th. Could be a throwback show, guys, because not only that, but we could also have perhaps Team 3D, the Dudley Boys. They could end up going up against the New Day for the tag team titles. Think about that. So we could have ourselves a double mark-out moment here. Imagine this. By the time Night of Champions is over, we could. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to happen, but think about it. Could we see the Dudley Boys walk out the new WWE Tag Team Champions? And on top of that, could we see the Stinger walk out the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion? And pretty much put the icing on top of what already has been a Hall of Fame caliber career for him. Wow, we could have double mark-out moments. It'd be one thing to see the Dudleys win the tag titles. I mean, hey, remember last year at the Royal Rumble, we saw the New Age Outlaws win the tag team titles, for God's sake. So anything can happen, folks. It can. And it almost 9 times out of 10 does. We could see the Dudleys as tag champions, and we could see Sting as the World Heavyweight Champion. And Mr. Bullock is absolutely positively correct. If Sting does, in fact, win the title at Night of Champions, how can it not be the mark-out moment of the year? How? I really don't know. These last 3 nights, my friends, let me just tell you this before we wrap up and do our shout-outs and whatnot. And I know Michael Bullock's going to agree with me on this because he basically damn near agrees with me on damn near everything. And I know this won't be any exception. So, Mr. Bullock, I hope you hear this. These last 3 nights, I can honestly say I cannot remember. Well, I can't remember a 3-night stretch that was so freaking awesome.
Oh, I agree with you on that. Definitely. I mean,
every one of these.
You had an awesome NXT takeover Brooklyn, which was definitely 9.5 to a perfect 10.
Only the second event. Huh? Only the second event to ever garner a perfect 10 rating. The other being, of course, WrestleMania 30.
And then you top it off with a 8.5 to 9 out of 10 SummerSlam.
Yep.
And then you have a 9 to 9.5 out of 10 edition of Monday Night Raw.
Good Lord.
I mean, this has been one of the most amazing 3-day stretches that I have seen in professional wrestling history.
I mean, everything from top to bottom was amazing. I mean,
we could say this is. I mean, these last few weeks of Monday Night Raw has been damn near spectacular. This has been really good.
Wish I could say the same for SmackDown, though. I mean, the SmackDowns have not been that good, but I'm hoping that changes tomorrow.
And this is and you and I talked about this before. For it, remember when Derek was complaining about Raw going back to
3 hours? Yeah, he wanted Raw to go back to 2 hours. Yeah.
Well, I may have to respectfully disagree with him because these last few Raws have been really good. And
we've been spoiled. We got spoiled.
And I'll have to say it: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So until we get a bad stretch of Monday Night Raw, I'll say it right here: keep it at 3 hours.
Yeah, keep it at 3 hours, and I don't know what else there is to say. I mean,
I know Derek will probably crucify me for saying that, but you know what? I don't care. It's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it, right? So yeah, but I mean, so many unbelievable matches. But if I'm going to be quite honest with you, the match that really stood out more than anything from all three of these nights, far and away, it had to be Sasha Banks and Bayley. Those two Bayley girls threw down in the greatest women's wrestling match I ever saw. That, to me, was the best fight of these 3 nights. That's all there is to say about that. That was a 5-star classic, chock full of the finest Shakespearean drama you will ever see. Just everything about that match was just amazing. So WWE in Brooklyn, applaud yourselves, because all 3 nights you hit it out of the ballpark.
Kudos to the city of Brooklyn.
And to, we're not going to call him McMagma on this night. We're actually going to call him by his actual name, Mr. Vince McMahon. Mr. Vince McMahon.
Thank you very much, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, and it's not just Vince, but don't forget, we can't forget about Triple H and Stephanie and all the creative stuff. I mean, every one of those folks deserve a pat on the back because they worked their asses off to make all 3 of these nights the 3 best nights of wrestling action we have seen in a long time. A 9.5 to a perfect 10 NXT TakeOver, a 9 and 9.5 edition of Monday Night Raw tonight, and an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 edition of SummerSlam on Sunday night. So, well done. I can honestly say, I hope we can keep that. We can keep this great streak going later tonight when I go to the SmackDown tapings at Dunk tonight. I'm not holding my breath on that because, like I said, these SmackDowns normally aren't as good as the Monday Night Raws or the network specials. But I just hope that this, even if it's only for one time for a while, I really hope this is not a back to reality show. I do not want to see a back to reality show. I want to see, I basically want to see what I've seen these last 3 nights. That's all I want to see. And I'll definitely share my thoughts. Keep your eye out on my Facebook page because I'm definitely going to have a lot to say about that. And then, of course, I'll reiterate it on Friday night. So, all right. That's going to put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum for tonight. So, of course, it's time for our shout-outs. And Michael Bullock, you started off as always, and then I'll set up the future content. And we got some major future content coming up. So Mr. Bullock,
all right. Of course, we thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. A wild night here, especially with some of the mark-out moments we had here tonight. So shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. And, of course, shout-outs to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hicksonball. Of course, shout-outs to all of our friends from our high school days, Al Bredesen, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler. Of course, shout-out to the Grand Poobah himself, the Hardcore Python, Derek Ferreira. Of course, I know he had a blast out there in Brooklyn the past 3 nights, of course, with the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn special, SummerSlam, and then, of course, tonight with Monday Night Raw. And I know he's going to share a lot of that on Friday night Strictly Sports. So, and of course, shout out to Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us, feeling under the weather, and hope you feel better, my man. And hopefully you're back with us Friday night on Strictly Sports. So, yeah, so I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night for Strictly Sports. So until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And, of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your week, and God bless, and be good to each other. And, of course, for now, Mike Bullock, so long. Florio, take us home and set up the future content, and it's gonna be a big one to say the very least when it comes to Strictly Sports.
If you thought this Wrestling Forum show tonight was big, or our big show Friday night and our recap Sunday, and of course this show tonight was big. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, my friends. Let me tell you that right now. But before I get into that, of course, I want to do my shout-outs. Of course, I want to thank you all so very much for tuning into this edition of the Wrestling Forum. Appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world, enough said on that. Of course, our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family. Dee Dee Woodson has, unfortunately, Dee Dee Woodson does not have an internet connection right now, so that's why she's been MIA from this show since the go-home show for Battleground on July 13th. But I do know once she has her net back up and running, she'll be back with us, I'm sure. So Dee Dee Woodson, we're thinking of you, and we're hoping that we can get you back on here very soon. We miss our Twisted Angel here, so that's all there is to say on that. And we hope all is well with you and Kevin and the kids. So shout outs to Dee Dee and Kevin Woodson and the entire Woodson family. Of course, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, and our crew, of course, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, and of course, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, and Brock Parsons. And of course, our two most special shout-outs, of course, first and foremost, Michael Fletcher, who unfortunately could not be with us tonight. He came down with an illness at the 11th hour. He was fine when I talked to him earlier, but I don't know what happened. Something must have happened that I didn't know. So, but unfortunately, Fletch couldn't be with us tonight. But we are very hopeful that we'll have Fletch back with us come Friday night for our loaded season finale of Strictly Sports. And last but not least, when it comes to shout-outs, we can't forget about this man, our Imperial Grand Poobah, if you will, who made his grand return on Friday night for our big preview show, the one and only hardcore pipe bomb himself, Derek Ferreira. How great was it to see him back here on Friday night? And I got some big news about Friday night, which we're going to get into right about now. So, of course, I'll save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night's season finale of Strictly Sports. So here we go. You're wondering what's on the docket for this season finale of Strictly Sports? Wonder no longer. Here we go. We are going to preview the upcoming college football season. Yes, our huge college football preview extravaganza. We're going to get into that on Friday night. And if you thought that wasn't big enough, we're going to have not one, not two, but 3 sharings of experience stories on this loaded season finale of Strictly Sports Friday night. First up, leading off, Michael Fletcher. As you know, Michael Fletcher, our Cerebral Viper, last Sunday, August 16th, he and our good friend Kaiser Butler, they went to Fenway Park to see the Boston Red Sox take on the Seattle Mariners. The outcome may not have been to their liking, with the Mariners winning in extra innings that day, but nonetheless, Michael Fletcher will share his experiences from Fenway Park on Friday night. Following that, of course, Derek Ferreira, our hardcore pipe bomb and our Imperial Grand Poobah. As you know, he was at the Barclays in Brooklyn. He was there for all 3 of these events. He was there on Saturday for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. He was there Sunday night for SummerSlam, and he was there tonight for Monday Night Raw. I cannot wait to hear his personal experiences of covering all 3 of those shows. Did a phenomenal job doing that, as always. And then, last but not least, of course, me, yours truly, ridiculously over Anthony Florio. I will share my experiences from the SmackDown taping at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence. I'll be there tomorrow night, so really looking forward to that. And I cannot wait to share my experiences with all of you guys out there. And I'll post the results of the show on my Facebook page as soon as I get the chance tomorrow night. So I'll definitely do that. So keep your eye out. I'm not sure what time I'll be on to do that, but keep your eye out nonetheless, so I can share those with you guys. I want to make sure you guys know what's going on with that. So, and then I'll share my experiences and whatnot come Friday night. The only question is, will we do a Major League Baseball power rankings? I'm not sure. And then, of course, next Monday night we got another Wrestling Forum, and then the Friday after, which will be September the 4th. It will be the season premiere, the return of Strictly Sports College Football Friday. And on behalf of Mr. Bullock and myself, we cannot wait for that. This summer of hard times, man. I'm glad these last 3 nights made us forget about the summer of hard times that's been. So that's all there is to say on that. So college football preview, Fletcher's Fenway experiences, Garrett's Brooklyn experiences, and my SmackDown Providence experiences. All that and maybe more coming at you this Friday night on the season finale of Strictly Sports. So with that said, until then, this is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher, and the Hardcore Python Derek Ferreira, saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. And until Friday night for our season finale of Strictly Sports, which I will be hosting, oh, by the way, and Derek will be on there, too, as a panelist. Hard to believe, but that's true. So until then, 10:30 Friday night, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Florio.